You can't just slap a buzzword on your advertising and call it good.
Stick around and we'll get right to it.
Hey, welcome back guys. Jason, KM4ACK. Today I want to take a look at this Retevis HA2 radio and tell you what no one else is telling you. Now, give me 30, maybe 45 seconds. Let me tell you the good parts of this radio. It is a 10-watt radio, but there's a catch to that. It does have USB-C recharging on the battery. It's got Bluetooth built into it that allows us to program the radio with an app, which is kind of cool. And it also allows us to use a Bluetooth headset or a Bluetooth PTT button. It does not give us Bluetooth access to the TNC though. The HA2 includes the weather frequencies, it includes FM radio, and it includes the airband. And the airbands actually sound pretty good. Instead of GPS, it gives us GNSS. And for those that aren't familiar with that, GPS is a US-based thing. GNSS encompasses all of the satellite positioning systems around the world. So those put out by other countries besides the US. So it does make this radio lock on to GPS signals pretty quick. In addition, it's IP67 rated, meaning we could submerge it in 3 feet of water for about 30 minutes and it should be fine. Now let's back up for a second though and talk about getting 10 watts out of this radio because there's a trick to it. If you long press the 2 on the keyboard, you also need to long press the pound key once you get into the power settings screen. Once you do that, it's going to show you the new super high option, which gives you the 10 watt output. However, if you turn the radio off and turn it back on, well, you've got to jump back through those hoops to get that super high setting and get the 10 watts out of this HT. But now let's talk about APRS. This radio will give you position reports, and a cool thing is it does have smart beaconing built in. And that's where it stops. The rest of it starts to fall apart when it comes to APRS. Now I'm making this video not only for you guys, but I want Retevis to pay attention to what we're showing from here on out. Because if they can get this fixed in a firmware update, this could be an incredible radio. You're talking about it could be a fully functioning APRS radio for less than $100. If they can square away the firmware, this will be a runaway hit, but we've got a lot of issues that we've got to cover first. Okay, so to start off, let's go into the menu system. Let's go to APRS. We're going to go to this APRS set option. Let's come down to the transmit frequency, and I've got this set to 144,390. All right, let's next go and turn on the APRS switch. Now, I've got this set to manually beacon every 30 seconds. And what I want you guys to see is I want you to watch this radio back here. Let me get that all the way back out of the menu or back to here. I want you to watch the 705 when it transmits. Right here is where the signal should come down. The waterfall is right in the center where that white line is. Did you see that? It's way left of the white line. I couldn't figure out at first why this radio was not being picked up by my other APRS radios. So now let's see if I can go in here and change this, and we'll go to the set again and the transmit frequency, and this time I'm going to move it to 144,800, and we're going to select that. And we'll give this another second. You might have actually been able to see it, but let's give it one more transmit cycle so you get a good picture of this. Now that it's set to 144,800 right here, you're going to be able to see, let's see if I can tilt that up a little bit better. You're going to be able to see that it is going to come right down the center of the waterfall at 144,390. And there it is. I'm not sure why that is the case, but that is just one of the quirks. Now again, this can be fixed. All right, so now that we got the frequency part sorted out, at least so we can run some tests here, you'll see that it is being picked up by APRS Droid. This application is connected to my D75, but you'll see right here it says test rig, do not message. Now, why would I put that in my APRS beacon? Well, that's because this thing sort of receives messages, but it absolutely cannot reply to one. Let's see if I can take this test message that I did earlier and just go ahead and restart that transmission. Let's see if it'll pick up this time. Well, nope, it transmitted right as I tried to do that. Let me cancel that. So abort, and let's retry that. Restart. And you'll see that it kind of gets the message right here. So here's the beacon. Notice that it doesn't give us any latitude or longitude. There's nothing to indicate on the screen that this is a message. We come down, it gives us the path. It doesn't give us any altitude or speed because that data is not in an APRS message. Let's go to the next screen. Well, let it finish transmitting again. I've got it set for every 30 seconds. But you see the comment here. This should say message, and it does give me T3, which is what I put in the message, as you can see right there on the bottom of that. So we'll just go ahead and abort that transmission, because while it does technically decode an APRS message, that's not the way it's supposed to be done. It should give us the message and give us an option to reply to it. Just decoding a message as a packet is not going to cut it, and just one of the failure points of the new H2. Now, in addition to that, I'm going to go ahead and create an APRS object. I'm going to do that inside of Yak. All right, so I've got the object created in Yak. I'm about to send that. I brought the D74 in here so you can see what this actually should look like when you receive an object. I'm going to go ahead and click the send button in Yak, and we should get that object right here on the screen. I didn't get anything over here. Let's go take a look real quick at the, not the switch. I need to go down. And this thing is transmitting every 30 seconds. I need to go down to the APRS list in this one and receive beacons, and you'll see that I didn't get anything, even though it was clearly picked up over here as my test object. So you can clearly see it right there. Occasionally, this radio will decode it, but just like we saw with the message a while ago, it doesn't indicate that it's an object, doesn't give us any of the correct symbols for the display, and I believe you kind of can read the comment in the object, in the comment on this radio, but it's just not clearly done and not correctly done. Now, I think it may have actually decoded it right then. Let's go take a look at that one more time. And yes, it does have KM4ACK-15 right there. So let's take a look at that. That should be that object. It tells me it's like 10,000 kilometers away. This thing is like 0.8 kilometers away. The latitude and longitude is all messed up. It does give us the correct path, no gate and RF only. And it did not give us the comment for that object. So it kind of sort of saw something here, but again, it's just not decoding objects the way it should. There it is again. You see the object received over there, and it's right here. Let's scroll through that, and yeah, nothing in the comment, and the latitude and longitude is still messed up. So not sure why, but it will not correctly decode objects either. Now, once again, I've got quite the juggling act going on. We've got the H2 over here. We've still got APRS Droid connected to the D75 that's off screen. We've got a D74 also sitting right back here. Let's go ahead and try a group message with this. So I'm going to just hit restart transmission. You can see that this one got it over here. It just says my message because these both have the same SSID. Let's take a look at this radio real quick. And let's see if it picked up anything. It did. Again, because it's a group message, we get no latitude or longitude information. We'll wait for it to quit transmitting again. Let's scroll down. We get the correct path, and we do get test group message right here. So it kind of decodes this, but again, you can't reply to messages from the radio or from within the app. The app is only used for programming the HT and for changing settings on the HT. But it kind of sort of decodes, but it's not useful at all. Now, in case you're wondering what this should look like on a radio, this is the Kenwood D74. I'm going to press the list button for APRS stations, and you're going to see a list of the current stations that the radio has heard. So that is that test object that we sent just a second ago right there. Let's hit the back button on that. and then it gives me the other stations. What you don't see in here is any bulletins or any messages. In order to get to that, we have a separate list, which is the way it should always be done. Your messages, your bulletins should always be in one list, and your stations should be in another list. You'll see that this says message list right here. If we go back to the other one, whoops, let me hit the back button a couple of times. If we go back to this one, you'll see that it says station list right there at the top. So it should always be sorted out so that you can see exactly what's what inside of a radio. It should not all be mixed in with one particular list. Now, hopefully Retevis and their developers can take the information that I've shown here in this video today and fix the issues with APRS on this radio. It's a good radio. It just doesn't do APRS correctly. Sending out packets is 1/10 of APRS, and just because you can send and receive packets doesn't make it an APRS radio. Right now, I'm going to tell you to hold off on buying this one. If they get a firmware update done to this and they improve it, we might revisit this radio in the future. If you found today's information helpful, be sure to leave us a thumbs up before you head off. We will see you guys on the next one. Until then, 7-3.